Good morning, this is Morning Real, a 3 to 4 200 minute or so podcast, a film that I review, hosted by Ray Salazar, yours truly. If I see it, I review it. How do you like my new catchphrase? This morning, I'm here to talk about a pretty crazy film. I don't think a lot of people have seen this film, man, unless you're a David Lynch fan. If you're a David Lynch fan, more than likely you saw this film, and more than likely being a David Lynch fan, love this film. I'm talking about Inland Empire, which is also known as a certain part of SoCal. It's not in downtown or whatever. Either way, this film has nothing to do with Inland Empire, like whatsoever, as far as what I know. Right? It's a 2006 experimental psychological thriller film that was written, directed, and co-produced by David Lynch. It is his last feature film. He had not made a film after that, and it's crazy that he kind of went out with a bang with this film. I feel like this film is like the modern version of Federico Fellini's Eight and a Half. Like, if you were to compare those two films, you can kind of see where Lynch got his inspiration from, but I'm pretty sure it was not directly from Fellini, because I don't know if Fellini would ever. I doubt Fellini would watch this film. I feel like it would just be too experimental for him. Anyways, I'm gonna go down the credits because this film deserves the credits. Written, produced, co-produced by and directed by David Lynch, produced by Mary Sweeney, who at the time, they were an item together, starring Laura Dern, Jeremy Irons, Justin Theroux, Harry Dean Stanton, Carolina Gruska, Peter J. Lucas, Christophs Majchrzak, dude, what a name, and Julia Ormond. Cinematography by David Lynch, edited by David Lynch. Production companies: Absurda, Studio Canal, Fandakja Kulturi, and Camera Image Festival. Distributed by 518 Media and Absurda and Studio Canal through the Mars Distribution. This film came out in September 6th, 2006 at the Venice Film Festival and didn't come out until December 6th here in the United States. It's an 180-minute film and a budget of $2.9 to $3 million. You know what's fucking crazy about this film? That it was shot on video. Yes, on video. And I'm not like digital. Well, I mean, it's digital video, right? Digital film, as one would call it. But he literally shot this film with a Sony camcorder. Like, everything you see in this film was shot from a Sony camcorder. And you can tell it's handheld for the most part. And look, this film is very, very hard to like describe as far as like what goes on in the film, because a lot goes on in the film. This film is a film where like you see portals opening and closing all at the same time. You see things that happen, and then you see the same thing happen but in a different way or in a different angle, or the turnout of a certain scene just turns out completely different. And it's about this actress who is played by Laura Dern, right? She's got a big break in this film, and she's really really ready for it, right? And at the same time, she meets the cast, director, crew, and all that stuff. And there's a discretion with this screenplay that they're going to be making into a film. And the fact is that this film was almost done but never been completed because things happened during the production of the film. Like, people died, people got cursed. It's stuff like that. People died. That's the crazy thing. Like, imagine trying to take on a film or a production that is notoriously known for being incomplete because somebody died on set and due to the whatever happened in the film and everything. So it's crazy how this film just like distorts as the film goes on, right? Everything seems kind of, it's not normal. I mean, it's a David Lynch film. It's never normal. There's always something that's just eerie, dark, and mysterious. And the cinematography, like, really backs that up. There's a lot of shots in this film where lots of it is dark. It's so dark you can't even see it, and you're like, why is it so dark? But in the midst of all that darkness, in the mise en scène of the shot, you see parts that are, not well lit, but definitely overlit. And it's just a theme that David Lynch goes to. This film is crazy, man. Like, this chick, you know, she starts doing her thing in the film. The acting scenes are going good, but then next thing you know, she starts to slip. She starts to lose her sight of reality, and it goes very extreme to the point where, like, we go from a house that's not filled with people, and then you go into this room in the same house where there's like a bunch of chicks dancing, and then at the same time, somehow those chicks end up in the street. It's in Hollywood, and then they're all prostitutes, and then Laura Dern herself becomes a prostitute amongst those chicks. But at the same time, she has a crazy backstory that has, like, really no connection to her actual, like, backstory of not only just of her character, but of her life in this film, right? And all we can do as the viewer is just sit back and watch and just let it flow on you, man. Like, at this point, you shouldn't be concerned as to what's going on. You just believe what you're seeing, and sometimes what you're seeing is very unbelievable, even for a person like myself who loves films that are, kind of serious. The intentions are serious, especially like shooting it and all that stuff, how it's presented to us. But this one, David Lynch is like, nah, dude, you know what? I'm going to give you home video footage and slap it together, and here it is, Inland Empire. And at the same time, it makes sense, like, it just barely makes sense. And honestly, this film is not about whether it makes sense or not, but when you watch the film, it does make sense if you really, like, just keep your eyes glued, like, it's kind of a hard film to watch, not because of its content per se, but it's just the style that he chose to put upon us, which is very experimental. Like, sometimes you don't exactly know what's kind of going on, and you kind of have to just keep watching to sort of hope that it'll make sense in the next scene to come, or in the next couple of scenes to come. And I had fun watching this film, really. And I gotta say, man, I didn't watch this film in one whole sitting. Not that I didn't want to. It's just, I had a bunch of stuff going on, right? But at the same time, man, like, as I was watching it, I was just impressed at the fact that this man, David Lynch, was able to make a film shot on home video, but you can tell that there is like a skeleton type of script in this film. And if there's any script in this film whatsoever, because it kind of looks like there isn't. And honestly, we got to leave that to the actors, especially Laura Dern. Laura Dern's a genius, man. Like, she is a really gifted actor, and she really lets loose in this film. I don't think we've ever seen Laura Dern act like how she acts in an Empire. It's really amazing. I'm very surprised she did not get nominated for, like, an Academy or a Golden Globe, because honestly, she really acted her ass off. She basically plays, like, different versions of herself throughout this whole film, and with those different versions, she's going through these different alternate scenarios of, like, maybe the same scene. And at the end of the film, it's crazy, man. Like, I can't spoil the ending, but all I know is, like, everything becomes a happy ending. It just becomes a happy ending. I don't know how it becomes a happy ending, but it just does, man. But, like, this film makes sense from the beginning, though, because you see this this woman, right? She's crying, and she's watching TV, and obviously we're gonna be focused on what's on the TV, right? But it's just so much more than that. But honestly, the whole story kind of it's not that it revolves around that very first shot, but it cuts back to that first shot. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy, man. Laura Dern kind of loses her mind, and it's like those things where like those actors where they really take the role very serious, where they just engulf themselves in the role, and even after the cut, after the take, after even the production's over, that person is so heavily consumed by the character that that is who they are, and she becomes that. And it's kind of scary to see like how everything goes down, especially dude, Terry Crews is in this movie, dude. He plays a bum. It's crazy, man. Like, and I mean, it's not like he stands out. I mean, he sort of does. There's a couple of two shots, and you can tell it's focused on Terry Crews, but it's funny. It's not funny, but it's crazy to see like a person like Terry Crews who decided, you know what, I'm gonna get on this film. I don't know what it's about. There's no script, but whatever. I'm gonna get on it. It's David Lynch. What can go wrong, right? This guy's in this film. He plays a bum. He doesn't have that much lines, but it's effective. Like to see like people that you wouldn't normally kind of see in films be in this film. It's kind of crazy. I don't know how to review this film or how to describe this film, but dude, there's a thing where the rabbits, man. There's a scene where like a couple of scenes that go throughout the whole film where it's like a humanoid rabbits, and they're like in this home, and you can tell the way it's shot too. It's crazy. It almost looks like a caricature, like a miniature set, because the living room area is so tall, like very tall. It's small in size, but it's very tall. And I just wonder, like, damn, how did they really nail that certain shot? I mean, there's more up close shots in the film, especially with the humanoid rabbits, and even those are crazy, man, because it's so deadpan, it's so Lynchian. You see these people talk to each other with no emotion whatsoever, and you can tell you know it's not coming from a boom mic or anything like that. It's total ADR, and Lynch decided, I'm just gonna slap this in there, and boom, I don't care what happens. I don't care if the mixing is horrible or whatever. I'm just gonna put it there, and we try to make sense of it. And even that little story of the rabbits, man, where they're talking to each other, and it doesn't seem like things are going on, but something is going on. Like somebody leaves the house, and at the end of the whole procession of it, they wonder if that one rabbit who left is coming back, and we don't know if he's coming back, and we don't know if that's the rabbit that's knocking on the door. I feel like it's our consciousness, or the consciousness of the film, or the consciousness of Laura Dern, or the state of mind that she's in. Is this a love story? Nah, not a love story. This is a thriller. This is like a woman trying to make it, and sometimes, man, when you want to make it so bad, some of the choices that you make aren't the best choices. Sometimes it like really takes you from reality. It takes you away from everything. I don't know if that was Lynch saying that in that film. Like, be careful with Hollywood, because Hollywood will screw you up. And from the looks of it, man, like, people got screwed up in that film. Like, people get hurt, people get shot, people become prostitutes, people become different people. It's crazy, man. And it's a film that you gotta watch. It's sort of like Harmony Korine's Gummo. It's just like a bunch of like little scenes put together, and somehow they are connected. And there's no other best way I can describe it. I would challenge you to watch this film. Really, this is a film, honestly, I do want to watch again. I think it's a very interesting film, especially for 3 hours, dude. A 3 hour Lynchian film, dude. Imagine sitting through 3 hours of Lynch. It does not compare to Lost Highway. Lost Highway is definitely more of a story. It's not that Inland Empire is not a story. There is a story. It's clear. You can see it. It's a messed up story, whether it makes a lot of sense or not. But it's so detached, and it's detached on purpose. And I think that's what it is when, like, when we're in a production of some sorts, like, things just start to sort of either fall apart or twist and turn. I don't know. But I enjoyed the film very much. If I would have to rate this film, and I'm sorry, David Lynch, I'm so sorry, man, because I tried, man. I tried, but I can't. I gotta give it 3.5 out of 4 tokes, man. It's not the perfect film. It is a really crazy, really horribly produced experimental film. And nah, I can't say it's horribly produced because it's Lynch, man. Like he knew what he was getting himself into. The people in this film knew what they were getting themselves into, and in fact, probably enjoyed it. And I think if they didn't enjoy it then, they'll probably enjoy it and appreciate it now. And that's the beauty of film too. That's the beauty of like personal bodies of work. Like sometimes you don't get it in the first 3 screenings or in the first 3 years of its run. Sometimes it takes time for us to really come back to it and reflect, or I don't know, man. I've never seen this film ever. It was my first time watching it. I would watch it again. I can't recommend this film to like somebody who loves the Avengers or somebody who likes Beetlejuice 2 that's coming up, or Gladiator 2. Yeah, nah, this isn't the film for you. I'm sorry. Or you know what? Anybody who's into A24 films, definitely watch this film. In fact, this is a masterclass in filmmaking. Quote me on that. You can follow me at Morning Shot Films, IG and YouTube. Check out my website, morningshotfilms.co, where I put, the morning reel and all that stuff and other bodies of work that I do, like photography, video. Check out the Pioneer Chicken that High and Hungry reviewed. It's a very monumental staple. If you love fried chicken, this is the place to go. There's only 2 spots left, LA and Bell Gardens. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. You will go back for more. Tell them that Ray or E-Zone from High and Hungry sent you, and they'll be like, oh shit, let's hook them up with like 2 more, chicken strips. Their chicken tenders are bomb, dude. Either way, coming up next is the review with Xavier and I. We're going to review One Night in Paris. Yes, that movie. It's not even a movie. Is it a movie? It's a sex tape, Like, I guess it's a movie, man. I don't know, but it's funny, man. That's going to be a Patreon exclusive. So if you're in the We Don't Smoke the Same podcast Patreon, if you don't have it, it's only $5, man. If you want to listen to our review about it, it's going to be there, and I will announce it when it's going to be there, or maybe not, because like I wouldn't include this in the general episodes that we have here on the morning reel. If I see it, I review it, and I definitely saw this, and I definitely reviewed this film. Also, I'm gonna review A Tale of Autumn, or An Autumn Tale. I'm not sure. An Autumn Tale. It's by Eric Romer. It's a very beautiful romance comedy film, and it's a French romance comedy film. And honestly, I like the film a lot, but I love the screenplay better. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody who's listening or watching or whatnot. It's a very beautiful script, man. It's really about people in their middle ages, or like in their 40s or 50s, why not, contemplate about love and romance and like being independent and how to be independent, how to stay independent and all that stuff. But at the same time, bro, like I guess when you're at a certain age and you've been in love before and you never thought, hey, that shit ain't for me, sometimes you kind of think, maybe I want that back again, and where can I find that? And at the same time, this film was filmed in the late 90s, so there was no Craigslist, there was no TikTok, there was no Plenty of Fish, there was nothing like those websites. This was all like human level, man, and really beautiful film. I cannot wait to talk about it. I feel like I should talk about it here right now, but I'm not going to do it because it would just take a while, and I gotta actually watch it again to really just dive into that guy. I love that guy. I love Lynch. Lynch, man, thank you for making Inland Empire. It's really an inspiration to me because it pretty much kind of tells me that anybody can make a fucking film, no matter how crazy it is. Anybody can make it, and anybody can make money off of it. Thank you.